On this season of The Other 55%, the trial that consumed the entire true crime community and beyond. The murder trial is over, and the next trial for his financial crimes is about to begin.
And I could see his brain on...
Generating millions of dollars in fees, that was not enough for you.
I know you have to see Paul and Maggie during the night times when you're attempting to go to sleep. I'm sure they come and visit you.
All these people on these two exhibits, these were real people that needed this money, is that correct?
I'm sure they did.
Somebody go to check them?
Yes, sir. They've already checked them.
They did check them?
Yes, sir.
That's official that they're dead?
Yes, sir. That's what it looks like.
Oh, and it might not have been you. It might have been the monster you become.
We've heard the number of indictments. Let's go beyond the numbers. As Creighton Waters said, Alex Murdaugh's victims are real people. Let's hear their stories. It's Season 3, The Other 55% with You're So Lazy, because we don't know the half of it, and this time, we probably never will. Welcome to Murdaugh Money, The Victims. Part 2, The Pinckney and Thomas Family.
Did you lie to your clients? Did you lie to Pamela Pinckney?
I did.
Natasha Thomas?
I don't know that I dealt with Natasha, but I certainly lied about that.
Hakeem Pinckney?
Again, I don't know that I talked to Hakeem, but I certainly lied.
On August
about
22, 2009, Hakeem Pinckney was critically injured in a car accident along with his mother Pamela, sister Shaquara, and cousin Natasha Thomas. When very similar to the Plyler family, a tire tread separated on their vehicle as they traveled also on I-95 like the Plyler family. Hakeem, who was thrown from the car, was the most seriously injured. His mother was also seriously injured, and according to her lawyer, has had more than 15 surgeries since the accident. Hakeem's cousin Natasha Thomas says she woke up crying after the accident, with her eyes badly injured. Alex, together with other partners, opened the case May 26, 2010. Right away, Alex recognized Hakeem as a moneymaker. Hakeem has a triumphant personal story of a boy who, although deaf from a young age, managed to make a success of himself. He attended the South Carolina School for the Blind and Deaf, had perfect attendance, was Student of the Year, and even played on a football team before tragedy struck him a second time, rendering him quadriplegic. Alex makes a video of him to help attract clients and ensure wins in court using videos.
With so many clients who unfortunately have suffered catastrophic injuries and are unable to go about moving around the way we take for granted, to be able to show a jury those things instead of telling a jury about them, the benefit is unexplainable. There's absolutely no better tool in the courtroom than to capture that in video. I can't tell you how many times we have used your videos in mediations and seen the adjusters and the attorneys on the other side move to tears. There's just absolutely no comparison to what video can do. The best storyteller in the world cannot relay with full effect the way a video can.
For both Hakeem and his cousin Natasha, Russell Lafitte is appointed as conservator, and Alex is appointed as guardian ad litem, though by legal definition, this is not needed for Hakeem, as he's 19 years old. Hakeem has been in a care facility in Aiken County for around a year, but just like with the Plylers, Alex files everything in Hampton County, where he has connections and where he will not be questioned. This is illegal. On November 15, 2010, Michelin Tire, whose faulty tires caused the tragic accident, filed to move the trial out of Hampton County. Hampton County is known for being excessively plaintiff-friendly and for offering huge verdicts. But Judge Perry Buckner, a Murdaugh family friend and ally, denies the request on June 6, 2011. As we've begun to see, Alex keeps all of Alex's dealings in Hampton. Interestingly, Alex then files a confidentiality order in Hakeem's civil case. On October 7, 2011, Hakeem's case is settled, and with good old boy Russell Lafitte as conservator to both Hakeem and Natasha, and Alex serving as guardian ad litem, it's now open season. It's noteworthy that Hakeem lives in a care facility in Aiken County, but both Alex and Russell present to the court that he resides in Hampton. Judge Sheila Odom does the appointing, but also, just as with the Plyer sisters, she adds, no disbursements to be made without prior approval of the Hampton County Probate Court. Also, just as with the Plyer sisters, this is egregiously ignored. 2 days after the case is settled in court, Hakeem is found brain dead due to his ventilator being unplugged for 30 minutes. Friends post rest in peace messages on social media. The first thought in mine and many other people's minds was, this man is quadriplegic. He did not unplug himself. So who did? On October 11th, 2011, Hakeem is officially pronounced dead at 1 p.m. Lafitte has no legal rights whatsoever to make any further financial decisions for Hakeem from this point. Yet, he files for a large, single premium settlement annuity. He lists Hakeem as the measuring life, though Hakeem has been dead for hours at this point. This is important because the measuring life is the person whose life expectancy is being considered in calculating the annuity, and in this case, Hakeem has already passed. Next, he lists himself as the owner and payee for the benefit of Hakeem. His name is handwritten over whiteout, so it's not clear whose name was originally there, though it was most likely Hakeem's. He appoints Hakeem's mother, Pamela, as Hakeem's beneficiary, though he has no legal right to choose this beneficiary, because the law states that when a person dies intestate, has no spouse or children, their estate is divided equally between their parents. Perhaps Alex chose Pamela because Alex's friend Corey Fleming was representing her, and that kept her money within reach. Corey was Alex's longtime friend, college roommate, and godfather to his son Paul. At any rate, Alex continues to steal from her through 2017. On December 21, 2011, Hakeem's $309,581.46 settlement and Natasha's $325,000 settlement disbursements are made. Of course, these are not given to the clients. And when it's all said and done, Natasha is only given $83,000 of her settlement money and has no idea that it's less than 1/3 of what it should be. Though in court testimony, we learned December is when Alex would receive the bulk of his salary for the entire year. We find him stealing a huge amount from his clients via Lafitte at the end of December.
Generally, the way the compensation structure for legitimate money that you earned in your law firm, the vast majority of your compensation does not come except in one lump sum in December. Can we agree to that?
Right, we get a salary. We would receive a salary. I believe our salary was $125,000.
Right.
And then the income that was earned would be paid in the form of a bonus at the year end.
Here's how some of that stolen money was distributed. The following receipts are courtesy of Justin Bamberg, attorney for the Pinckney and Thomas families. I wasn't kidding when I said open season. As soon as these 2 settlement checks are in his hands, Alex has no less than 9 checks and money orders flying out. The most shocking of the withdrawals to me is this money order to Alex's father, Randolph III, or the one who had his grandchildren call him handsome instead of grandpa. Randolph would know the pay schedule at PMPED. Any large amounts outside of that time frame should be suspicious to him. How is he accepting these amounts of money without questioning their origin? Or does he know exactly where they came from? What is this money for? Is it a loan repayment or something more sinister? At any rate, he happily deposits the check directly into his bank account. This really has me wondering, how far back in this family does the corruption go? Speaking of how far back does the corruption go, the next money order is for Russell Lafitte's father. These are 2 families that have generations of history together. Have these schemes been passed down? It really makes you wonder. Keeping things all in the family, the next money order goes to Maggie. Was Maggie involved in this too? Wouldn't it be weird to be presented with a $10,000 money order by your husband? I know not every couple keeps a joint account, but a money order instead of a check? Why go to the bank and pay for a money order when you could just write a check or just transfer it between the 2 accounts? It just seems really odd to me. Next, we have 2 payments to the Hannah Plyler conservatorship as discussed in part 1. Russell had given Alex large loans, and with Hannah coming of age soon to collect that money, it had to be put back in. Before Alex had the clever idea to create his Forge accounts, he'd opened a business called Murdaugh Charters. It's listed as a legal service, though Alex is employed at PMPED. It's believed by many, myself included, to be a means to hide and launder money. $9,500 is just simply made out to cash. It strikes me when I'm looking at all these bank records that none of these people show any fear of being caught in this. They are blatantly making these bank transactions without even trying to hide what they're doing. This tells me that this sort of thing is nothing new to them. This brings us to an over $40,000 check for a Malik Williams account that Russell is also a conservator for. The interesting part about this is that Malik is not Alex's client. So here we see Russell supplying money to Alex from other accounts that he's a conservator for and taking the repayment from these new stolen funds. It's good to know that these bank receipts are still being looked into to find out how many people were affected by this unscrupulous borrowing of their funds. Some may never know since the money was often scrambled up before their settlements were due to be given. Russell collected heavy fees to serve as conservator. These fees should all be returned since he did not protect his client's best interest, which is what a conservator is for, and he and Alex both owe these people the appropriate market interest rates for these undercover loans, at the very least. On January 3, 2012, Alex writes a $60,000 check to Russell for conservator fees. He uses this money to cover more of the Hannah Plyler loan, and then over $6,000 is just given as cash. On June 13, 2012, Alex receives more proceeds from Natasha's settlement for over $25,000, but once again, he keeps it without telling her. 2 months later, on August 29, 2012, Russell Lafitte makes 4 more transactions with Natasha's money. 2 are $9,000 cash withdrawals by an unknown person. There's a $16,245.08 money order to Palmetto State Bank, and another money order cashed by an unknown person for $7,245.08. Pamela had suffered 2 broken ankles and broken bones in her knee, thigh, shoulder, and neck. As mentioned earlier, she's had over 15 surgeries since the accident and still suffers many pains. Then, after suffering the ultimate loss, her son Hakeem, Alex still saw her as nothing more than a means to more money and continued to steal money from her as late as May 8, 2017, when he receives a settlement of $350,000 to pay a medical lien in the amount of $219,807.73. He keeps the remaining balance of $130,192.27, and he and Corey Fleming use part to charter a private plane to the 2012 College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. The remaining $89,133.44 are deposited into Alex's fraudulent Forge account. I can't come up with words to summarize the feelings that we must all be having right now, looking back on all of these stolen funds. All I can say is this is only the second victim. Stay tuned for the rest of the list of victims. As we continue, Murdaugh Money, The Victims. Part 3, Arthur and Donna Badger, coming soon.